Welcome to Microchips Briefing. The content of the briefing includes Taiwan, facing Chinese pressure, to stress importance of peace at APEC summit. Huawei's chipmaker warns global tensions creating a chip glut. China chipmaker SMIC hikes capex to $7.5 billion despite profit slump. Oil shocks and silicon shortages, the high cost of geopolitics. First FT, ransomware attack on China's biggest bank disrupts trades in U.S. Treasury market. Taiwan, facing Chinese pressure, to stress importance of peace at APEC summit. Reuters. Taiwan will emphasize the importance of peace in the region at the upcoming Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation (APEC) summit, President Tsai Ing-wen said on Friday. Taiwan, which takes part in APEC as Chinese Taipei, has faced increasing military pressure from China. Tsai stated that Taiwan is dedicated to promoting regional peace and prosperity and called for cooperation in reducing conflicts in the region. She also emphasized that Taiwan is a reliable and trustworthy partner in the international community. Taiwan's representative to the APEC summit, Maurice Chang, stated that he believed no APEC member would oppose peace, prosperity, and development. APEC has been one of the few forums where China and Taiwan talk, even if just in passing. However, China has not formally confirmed President Xi Jinping's attendance at this year's summit. Huawei's chipmaker warns global tensions creating a chip glut. Yahoo! Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corp has warned that geopolitical tensions are causing a glut in global chipmaking capacity and a recovery in the smartphone market may be another year away. Samsung Electronics and Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing have taken a more upbeat stance on mobile demand bottoming out soon. SMIC is one of the highest-profile firms at the center of China's ambition to build a world-class tech sector that is less reliant on U.S. innovations. It helped Huawei build the 7nm processor for the Mate 60 Pro that sold out rapidly, taking business away from Apple's iPhone. China chipmaker SMIC hikes capex to $7.5 billion despite profit slump. Nikkei Asia. Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corporation, SMIC, China's top chipmaker, has raised its capital expenditure budget for 2023 to $7.5 billion despite an 80% decline in net profit in Q3 2021. The increased spending comes as the U.S. tightens export controls on advanced chip-making equipment, affecting China's imports of lithography machines critical for semiconductor production. SMIC has been on the U.S. trade entity blacklist since 2020 but continues to invest in building plants and boosting domestic self-sufficiency in chips. The company has also shifted its focus from serving the global market to serving local customers. Oil shocks and silicon shortages, the high cost of geopolitics. Bloomberg. Geopolitical tensions and conflicts, such as the Israel-Hamas conflict and Russia's invasion of Ukraine, have the potential to disrupt the world economy. A sharper escalation of these conflicts could lead to a direct conflict between Israel and Iran, causing oil prices to soar and global growth to decline. In addition, the ongoing trade war between the U.S. and China has resulted in higher prices and slower growth. However, there are also winners in this situation, such as Mexico, Vietnam, and Thailand, which have picked up more trade with the U.S. as imports from China decrease. Taiwan, a major producer of semiconductors, is also at risk due to its geopolitical vulnerabilities and the reliance on its semiconductor industry. If a disaster were to take Taiwan's semiconductor supply offline, it could have a significant impact on global GDP. The article suggests that a balance needs to be struck between national security and cross-border trade in order to navigate the challenges posed by rising geopolitical tensions. Ultimately, the return of geopolitics adds a significant risk to the global economic outlook. ARM shares sink as some analysts question valuation after weak forecast. Reuters. Shares of ARM Holdings fell 8% after a delay in a large deal impacted the company's quarterly forecast. The delay has raised questions about the valuation of the company, as it grapples with uncertainty stemming from new accounting rules. ARM's current price-to-earnings ratio remains at a significant premium, and the valuation is still stretched in analysts' view. However, ARM's annual revenue forecast was above estimates, as it benefited from a surge in companies designing new chips for artificial intelligence applications. NVIDIA develops AI chips for China in latest bid to avoid U.S. rules. Financial Times. NVIDIA has developed 3 new chips specifically for the Chinese market in an effort to meet the country's growing demand for AI technology while complying with U.S. export controls. The move comes after the U.S. restricted sales in China of high-performance chips that can be used to create AI systems. The 3 new chips, named H20, L20, and L2, have had their overall performance moderated compared to previous models to meet the new regulations. However, analysts believe the chips will remain competitive in the Chinese market. Nvidia's Chinese competitors are also facing geopolitical constraints and limited access to advanced chip-making equipment. China's Tech to sell UK chip-making plant amid security concern. Nikkei Asia. Chinese company Tech Technology has agreed to sell semiconductor fab Nexperia Newport to U.S. chip company Vishay Intertechnology. The sale comes after the UK government ordered Tech to unload the facility due to security concerns. The sale price is set at $177 million and the deal is expected to be completed next year. Tech bought Newport in August 2021 and sought to upgrade its chip business by holding a British semiconductor plant under its umbrella. The sale of a UK chip plant to a Chinese company sparked backlash in the country, leading to the divestment order. Chipmaker SMIC sales fall for third straight quarter despite Huawei boost. South China Morning Post. China's Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corp. SMIC has reported a 15% fall in revenue in Q3, marking the third consecutive quarter of declining sales. The figures fell short of expectations, despite the release of a popular range of 5G smartphones by Huawei. SMIC is a key player in China's efforts to reduce its reliance on US technology, and its shares have risen 40% since Huawei launched the $900 plus Mate 60 Pro in August. However, competition in China's crowded smartphone market is intensifying, and the future of SMIC may depend on whether the US imposes further sanctions on China's chip sector. A weakened China badly needs a truce with the West. The Sydney Morning Herald. China is seeking economic peace with the West, with a détente between China and the US appearing to be on the horizon. China's catch-up growth model has hit a wall, leaving the economy trapped in debt deflation, with a secular collapse in total factor productivity growth. China needs a truce more than the US, and a thaw is clearly underway. China's state-controlled media has given a hero's welcome to the last surviving pilots of General Joseph Stilwell's Flying Tigers, based in Chongqing from 1941 to 1944. President Xi Jinping himself has written a letter to the Sino-American Aviation Heritage Foundation, extolling a deep Sino-American friendship. Arms control officials from both sides have met to discuss nuclear missile forces and strategic doctrine, and the military hotline from Washington to Beijing is likely to be restored. Climate talks are also back on. The US is in good economic health, while the Chinese economy is in trouble. China's People's Bank is struggling to manage imported monetary spillovers from the Federal Reserve, causing stress in the Chinese money markets. China's Communist Party elites believed their own rhetoric after the Lehman crisis, thinking it was the end of American capitalism, and a vindication of Chinese state control over credit and the banking system. China needs to open up, but the extreme ultraviolet lithography, EUV, needed to miniaturize chips below 7 nanometers for quantum computing, advanced weaponry, and the AI revolution is not available to China. China wants to patch up relations with the West, but most China experts doubt that anything of substance has changed. That's all the news for today, folks. It seems like geopolitics is playing a major role in the tech industry lately. Taiwan is facing increasing pressure from China and is emphasizing the importance of peace at the APEC summit. Meanwhile, Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corp. SMIC, China's top chipmaker, is warning about a chip glut due to global tensions. They have also hiked their capital expenditure budget, despite a profit slump. And speaking of chips, ARM Holdings is facing uncertainty and a drop in shares after a delay in a large deal. On the bright side, Nvidia has developed new AI chips specifically for the Chinese market to comply with US export controls. However, China's Tech Technology is selling a UK chip-making plant due to security concerns. And finally, China's catch-up growth model seems to be hitting a wall as the country seeks economic peace with the West. All of this reminds me of a high-stakes game of poker, with countries and companies trying to navigate their way through a complex and ever-changing geopolitical landscape. The tensions between China and Taiwan, the US export controls, and the vulnerability of financial institutions to cyber attacks all highlight the challenges and risks involved. It's a delicate balancing act between national security and global trade. But what are your thoughts on all of this? How do you think these geopolitical tensions will impact the tech industry? And what do you make of China's efforts to seek economic peace with the West? I'd love to hear your ideas and opinions. So, feel free to join the discussion and ask me any questions you may have. Let's keep the conversation going. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.